Let's get all of our streams up and running. Of course, I'm a little late today, but we'll get everything up and running here. It'll probably take a couple minutes. Let's see. Let's make sure, excuse me, that we are live on X. Let's post the same thing here. Okay, we're live on X. One done and two more to go. Yesterday, it looked like, okay, so 1 day ago, 2 days ago. Okay, so our stream definitely, no, it says we're live. Okay, so YouTube launched, so I'm not sure if they were having issues or I was having issues, but YouTube launched immediately today. So that's awesome. Okay. I'm also going to launch on Pump Fun, and we definitely need to consider a new strategy with Pump Fun because we haven't not been getting like much action at all, and that's kind of lame. But we'll see what we have to do as far as that's concerned. Um, okay, and that took immediately. Awesome. Yeah, we'll have to strategize on a couple things, but unfortunately, my priority lately has been producing, like actually doing production work as opposed to like pumping crypto related components. Um, Fortunately, it's just what it's been. Okay, let me get my keyboard out of the way, plug in the iPad, and let's get working. All right, so 8:07. Let's try to see if we can get a nice solid hour stream today. Okay, there we go. I was working on what we had been working on last night. Um, so we were working on this last night, and yeah, it's a work in progress. I think we still got to do a little bit of like a dark shadow type of kind of like get in here and create some texture. See if there's a fat nozzle. Okay, come down to one. And then beyond this would probably be black. We're not going to actually work on this today. I'm just kind of wrapping this up as we speak. I was working on this before the stream. Um, Good news as far as the miniature bases are concerned. We did have a very good successful print with a whole bunch of tweaks that we did customizing our print profile. And so I'm very excited about that. But that was, we had sent one part to print by itself and it looked good. So now the real test is can you print a whole build plate full of parts and still get that same result, right? So sometimes printing one part on a build plate is not the same as printing, let's say, 60 parts, right? So we kind of have to make sure that we're getting. How come? Oh, did I freeze my program? Weird. I swear I'll wrap this up in a jiffy. Okay, whatever. Not sure what happened there. I think we're gonna have to come in here and do like this kind of contour, even smaller than that, just like a tiny, tiny, like shadow. The joys of triple tasking. We got the printer running. I want to work on this, but I do want to also get back on Bodhi the cat. Bodhi the cat. Yeah, something like that. We'll have to figure it out. I think we can also come into the model a little bit darker. It's, kind of the way we're doing this transition. We can probably do something like that. Yeah. Anyway, this is not. We got pretty far with this today. We did this kind of. I just wanted to kind of quickly review this, what we did. I went in here and I added all this custom painted, um, if you want to call it border um, treatment. And then I added a little bit inside the islands. We could probably, tone it down a little bit more like EA. We could probably even tone that down a little bit. And then come in with an even darker tone, smaller details. Who knows? Yeah, that looks better than when this was. There we go. Almost gives it that pillowing look, like it's embossed. And we'll keep playing with this. There's the blue, there's the red for the packaging, right? So if you got a tag like that, sticks out. I like that part. I'm not sold on this red yet. The blue looks fine. The red still looks like murder, but that's another problem for another day. All right, so let's get back into Bodhi Cat. I do need a beverage. But before we get to, let's try to get a mission for today, right? I think we can definitely do some rough blocking for the the belt and the pants. I want to get that done at least roughly today. So also what I'm thinking of here is ultimately when this is done, I was thinking I want to print basically the jacket slash upper torso as one piece and the legs as another piece. Um, I don't want them to be the same. Let me see here. Okay. Okay. So let's scale up our picture here. Just so we can take a good look at our belt. Let's adjust our Y. And so I knew there was something wrong with this. The jacket definitely needs to be modified because it does not sit like a plaid shirt. I was kind of envisioning that we had a bit of an issue here. But what I'll do here, in order not to kind of stop our flow right now, what I'll do is let's do the belt, let's do the pants, and then we'll go back to the flannel shirt and fix it, right? Because right now it's kind of like almost looks like a biker jacket. We kind of really need to change up the way it looks to make it look more accurate, right? We need kind of like this swinging down shape, and we can get to that after. So let's get to the belt. And in order to sculpt this belt, all we really need is um, I'm going to use this tube to make the belt. I think this is going to be the easiest way to make it look the way we want it to, right? Right, we'll get the little fold in there. We'll get the little, get the detail looking right. And that's going to help us create a separation between the upper and the lower half. Okay, let's try to shrink that. Let's squeeze that in. Bring it forward. Alright, let's see if we can do that. Let's see which. Perfect. Okay. Okay. Alright. Let's move in here. If this was kind of roughly the shape of the character, about yay, I think that we can narrow that. It's kind of hard to see that belt right now, but let's see if we throw a matte cap on there. See if we're able to see it. Let's move this picture into the center. Let's make our mesh translucent, and it's kind of hard to see, man. Okay. That is about right. Let's get rid of this just so we can focus on our sculpt here. One of the things that we did want to do was to create almost like a little fold or a ripple. I'm gonna call it like a little bend, right? We want it to look like a belt, so we got a little bend here, giving it that kind of that shape, the three-dimensional belt shape. Okay, and it needs to be behind the jacket like that. And obviously, if his shirt is there, then I think the belt needs to be like here. And obviously, this jacket is proving to be an issue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the jacket off for now, so we can focus on um, oh, okay. Let's increase the detail there. And that's all we really need is just a small little fake piece of belting. Okay. And it does look like more or less that it's in the center here. Let's see if we can turn on the grid. Okay, for sure. Like there is probably all we're gonna need. Okay. I'm gonna cheat this out a little bit because I want it to stick out. Maybe go a little bit more like that. Okay, let's go ahead and validate that. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna round off the edges. Let's turn that down, turn that up. Okay. Just give this nice smooth, it's leather, right? So it's not supposed to be sharp. Not that I make anything sharp. If you've watched my sculpts long enough, you know that I smooth everything out. Why? I don't know. Couldn't tell you. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So now, in order for this to look like a belt, we need to add the hardware. Really, that's all it really takes. Before we add it, I'm going to add two little holes. One where the pin sticks through. So let's add um, let's add two holes. That should be interesting. All right, so there's a couple different ways we can add holes. We can create a cylinder first, and we can use the cylinder as a prop to create the hole that we want. Um, that's what we're gonna end up doing here. Just gotta scale this down to the right size, get it in the right location. Kind of want to go roughly in the center. Let's see here. What we'll do is we'll do a little cheat here. We'll make the cylinder about the size of the belt, and then we'll scale down and we'll go, okay, that is the center, right? So I think we can go a little bit smaller. Yeah, about that. Okay. So now the real question is, does the hole go through the belt, or is it just like a like a little like an indent in the belt, right? So I'm gonna say we're gonna make this just like a little hole, but not through hole, right? So it doesn't go through all the way. So we'll take one like here, rotate it a little bit. Actually, take off that snap. Okay. We'll go about halfway like that. And then we'll take the other one and we'll like put it right here. I want this to kind of be up here, right? Because that's going to have like that metal pin coming through. I can actually probably put this at an angle too to match, right? So that bar, then that pin will stick out this way. And I think that's good enough. What we'll do is we're going to grab both of these pins, the two cylinders, and we're going to actually join those together. Okay, and now we're going to hide them and select both objects and hit Boolean and sure, let's go with 500. There we go. Now we got two holes in our material and we no longer have those pins. We just have this left, which is all we really needed was the impression of having a hole. There we go. Now we'll do this side. Okay. That looks about right. Let's create that metal bar. So we are going to make that with the tube tool. That's like my new go-to is the tube tool right now. Because you technically can just make everything with this thing. Um, it's just a very resourceful tool. Okay, so let's make this super thin. Let's go back into this view. And we know that this is basically in the front like this. Let's go to the top view. We are gonna like kind of squish it in here. Okay. Let's drop that down about like yay. Okay. We now need to basically modify this. Um, can I make? Okay, so I think what happened here was we did so many transformations that it kind of distorted how this functions. Let's try again. This time we're gonna have to move everything manually, and we'll basically just use the mirror tool to complete what we want. What does the mirror tool do right now? Okay, so that's mirroring across there. We want to mirror across the bottom. Um, we might have to do this. Let's see. Can we just do something like this? Take this, take that. Okay. This is going to the back, and then we'll take that. Okay. Let's modify this. Okay. Let's adjust that. I'm trying to stack this without it um, wanting to erase itself. That's close. It's pretty close. Let's see if we can cheat this. Perfect. Pretty much perfect. Uh, Pretty close. See if we can just move this a little bit. Alright. So we kind of have our belt clip shape. Let's see if we can there, relax that a little bit. Maybe raise this slightly. Okay. Then we'll see if we can actually make it square. Let's see if we can make the shape slightly different. Can we do something like this? Is that possible? Just to kind of make this a little bit more unique. Okay, let's see what we got here. Let's increase the resolution here. Okay. That kind of gave us a little bit more of a realistic shape there. Okay, I'm not gonna apply this yet. What I'm gonna do is put another cylinder in here. Oh, where did our cylinder go? Okay, I'm gonna add that cylinder back and hopefully we don't accidentally get rid of it. And we're gonna use this as the actual pin that's going through the belt. So let's see here. Let's make this smaller. Okay, narrower. Let's bring this forward. Okay. Alright, so let's go that way. Let's go this way. Let's see if we can move that into position. What I'll do is I'm gonna hide this for now, and hopefully we can see here if we are close enough to align with that. Well, we actually did a really good job with that. Okay, let's kind of leave it like a little bit smaller, like that. Okay, so let's bring back our tube here and make sure that our pin is actually sitting on it properly, which it kind of is. What I'm going to do here is I kind of want to just rotate this a little bit. We'll actually just move it back like that. Okay. See how that looks? That's pretty much exactly where we want it. However, our pin looks like it's sitting a little high up. We'll move that down right about there. Let's just, that's pretty good. See, there we go. We got our little belt. Okay, now we're gonna do what we always do. Like I say, we're gonna smooth it out and give it more of this kind of like a cartoony look. Um, One of the things that I definitely do need to do, I just can't get myself to do it, is go to stores and start actually buying toys. You know, like right now, like I just rely on my own intuition to like say like it should be like this, right? I don't really study other people's sculptures. I just kind of do my own thing, which there's probably nothing wrong with that, but you know, maybe you'll learn from some observational studies as well. Okay, let's see here. Can we jack this up to probably 150-ish? That's about 150 right there. Let's validate that. Let's do the same thing we always do, and let's try to smooth some of this out. Okay. Okay. Da, 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 da. And this will, we might have to add something in the back there. We'll see. slowly getting it put together. Alright. I don't want to spend an immense amount of time on this, because like I said, I really want to get some pants on this cat. Put some pants on that cat. Okay. Okay. Uh, let's see if we can maybe make this a little bit bigger. Get more taken care of faster. And so we kind of lose a little bit of detail, but I think it kind of fits with my style of everything else. So, okay, let's hit the back side. Okay. Okay. All right. So that is kind of our belt. Let's bring back in some elements here. Let's get rid of the jack. We'll put the. So, I didn't think this through 100%, right? So, if we change the jacket quite a bit, um, well, we can always add quite a bit more as we go along. If we have to, we can make some more adjustments to that. Let's see if we can give this guy some pants. Okay. Let's see if we can. It's just hard to look at this without a little bit of separation. Okay. So let's see here. Let's paint this back his correct color, and then we'll create the pants right now and separate it. Um, let's give this. Okay, let's make a silver color. Okay. Alright, let's go back here. Let's go to our mask tool. We'll do mask select. And if that's where that is, let's think here. So if the belt is currently up there, then it should come down a little bit, right? So that belt should be like there. If we're expecting to have pants that are right where that shirt stops. Okay, so let's go here. Let's go to select. Let's come in here and say, okay, your pants are like just about there. Okay, so now let's extract this, but before we do, we kind of want to go. How come extract? Okay, we're just having an issue with. Let's hide the shirt for now. Let's get rid of all that. Left hand, right hand. So now let's go to here. Let's lower this. Okay, so let's go to mask and let's unmask. Looks like we got a little bit of this hand right there. Okay. Okay. Let's go here. Okay, we definitely are not that thick, right? Let's look from the top so we can kind of see how thick of a profile we're creating. So I think if we go to like 0.02, that might be a little bit too much. So our shirt it's way bigger, but what about our jacket, right? How does that look? It's not bad. I would say, yeah, about there. So about 1 point is that's quite a bit less. Now let's go to 1.2, I think is extract. Okay, extract. All right. All right. So that's the pants right there. And I think that is correct. And then where is our, okay. I think that's pretty good. We do need a, let's label these, rename, pants, jeans. We'll do jeans. Jeans, P jeans, jeans. Okay. This is the belt. Rename. This is the flannel shirt. Okay. We'll do belt hardware. This is belt hardware pin. Belt hardware pin. White shirt. Okay. So, how do we want to make these? That's the question. So, alright. So, we can do the crotch or the fly shape. We can do a seam line down the side. And we can do the pant fold at the bottom, but I don't think it's 100% necessary. However, I do want to see like legs stick out. I don't know if that makes any sense. So right now, uh, we can't see his body, right? But we need to be able to see the bottom. So I wonder if we just temporarily trim this so we can take a look at something here. Not that high, but if we trim it like there, wow, it's still up there. Wow, holy shit. Okay, let's try a little bit more, even though that's not what I want to do. Okay, so, wait, oh, wait, what the? Do we have, okay. I think that cylinder that I had hiding was where, okay. See, that needs to be, so let's change the color of the jeans. Let's make them, okay, let's paint this real quick and let's paint the bottom. The That's supposedly his skin showing through at his ankles. Let's paint those his body color, the orange. Oh, you know what I think that is? Okay. There was a mask that was still on that, so okay. Hmm. Okay. Okay, let's go to belt, belt, flannel, white shirt. Okay. Okay. And we can add more to it later, but I think that's kind of like where that belt needs to be. Let's go back and I want to drag the back side down. I think we can go. This is like two shaped. I think this can go like that. And like that. That collar looks fucking terrible. Let's see if we now try to paint this jacket orange again. See what happens. Last we tried to paint it orange, it wasn't looking the greatest. Let's see here. Like, I don't know why that doesn't like it never hits that right tone. Let's see if we can increase the lighting. Let's see exposure. Okay. Let's go back to where we were before that. Paint. Yeah, see, like when I grab it from there, it's okay. Not really, but whatever. Good enough for now. fix that after. I know that they were posting some new images in the actual Bodhi cap, but yeah, it's just PFP. I don't think there is. Let's go and take a look at Bodhi. Let's go to the meme section. Let's see if there's any idea of what the rest of the body could look like. Okay, let's take a look at that. Okay, so what we can do is if we take the crease tool, we can start to form some shapes that are very identifiable, right? So like that zipper, for example, like everybody knows what that zipper looks like, right? So that's definitely, we'll turn off symmetry here. Fuck. You know, this is kind of like this, right? However, we're probably gonna have to turn on dynamic topology, and let's see if we can try that one more time. We probably should actually wait until this is joined. You know what? I don't even want to do this. I want to increase the mesh. Let's go to like 500. Okay. Okay. 500. This is his dick. This is his cat dick. Okay. Okay. Right. Looks exactly the way it's supposed to. Okay. Actually, you know what? I think that there should be like a seam that goes like this. And then from here is where we should have our seam like that. Is that? It kind of cheats a little bit, right? So let's let's go here. Okay, let's. I wonder if all you need is. It really depends how we end up doing this. This is kind of a difficult little project here. Kind of pushing myself on all levels to do more. Okay. Okay. All right. And can we see what I want to do here is hide everything but the jeans, and I want to start adding some seam lines. Going down the side, like here. I kind of feel like I'm like floating over to the side. Let's see here. Okay. Let's see here. So we have that seam line. There should definitely be an inseam, right? Like a seam coming up. And this is always a little. I needed to look up how. Oh, come on. The whole time I didn't have symmetry on? What the fuck? Okay, so back to this again. Okay, that's the seam there. And we need like a seam in the inside. And I think this is about as good as I might be able to get it like that. Okay. That's not bad. It's definitely a little bit more forward than the other one. And now we should have a like a hem, like a seam coming across here. Wow, I don't know what the looks like my whole model's like slightly out of position, which is not awesome. Fuck. Okay, let's we'll have to deal with that after. Right now I just kind of want to okay. And then we need to do like two seam lines across the top. But first thing I'm going to do is actually trim the top off so that it's not jaggedy. Okay, that'll give us a sharp cut at the top. Let's go back to our crease tool. And let's try to match about that. Actually, I'm going to go. Okay. Turn symmetry back on. Let's go around the back. Okay. Okay. And we'll toy around with a lot more tomorrow. Let's just paint this top real here, yeah. English is very gooder today. Okay. Alright, and where are we? It's getting somewhere. Give it some faith. We'll have to, I think once we get everything roughly in its place, we'll start adding ripples. Well, once we join everything together, because right now there's all, like, these are all separate pieces. Once we make this all one big mesh, I'll start adding ripples. Well, we want to fix these arms and make them thinner, but once we get the geometry, we're going to start refining it little bit by little bit, and at the end, we're going to start turning the clothes into clothes and start giving it actual, like, ripples and waves, so that it just doesn't look flat. It's got a little bit more texture and detail to it. So very excited. Uh, let's see here. What else do we got? Mm, yeah, still quite a bit more to do. I think I'm fairly confident that we can definitely be done by next week. Like, we've already done so much that it looks feasible that we can get there. Okay, so we gotta extend the belt. We could probably finish the belt tomorrow and keep chiseling on the pants. And then when we go live tomorrow night, we can keep going on the pants and belt. And then tomorrow, well, the day after tomorrow, if I work on it this weekend, we can just kind of look at it, make some tweaks, look at it, make some tweaks, and keep working at it. Um, yeah, I think this is a good spot to stop at. I can see that now that we're starting to fill it out, we can start to critique it more now and slowly start to drive the shape where we want it, you know? I'm gonna see if I can just do a 360, just to look at it and kind of take in the whole shape and think about where my mind is with this project. Let's see what we got here. His head is like so big. It's funny. Yeah, it's definitely a caricature for sure. So we might have to do the same thing and make his shoes very big. That way he's got big hands, big head, big shoes, and it's very character. I think overall it's been a very like the way the hair came out, in my opinion, is so good that we're gonna have to find a way to maybe improve the mane, that like lighter color hair on his face, cause like the mullet or like the hair in the back looks so fucking legit compared to the front. But we did spend a lot of time on that hair, and that goes. You can see that considerable time was taken in the hair to kind of create that nice detail, and we really need to mimic a lot of this throughout. I just wonder what if we did this same exact style but on the face, what it would look like. We'll see. We'll see if we can do that and just put this the same technique that we put together for this hair on the face. I don't know if it'll look good. We'll have to see. Maybe just a couple of them to give it a little bit more definition, because it is supposed to be fur, right? And right now we have like these big, um, like these components right here. I'll try to make this a little bit smaller. These parts right here, they're very big. And so if we can start breaking those down into two or three folds, maybe one fold each for starters. And I know the nose, he has like a heart-shaped nose. I'll have to talk to Greyborn about that and see if that's what they want on the 3D model as well. But I can definitely see now in my head. It's hard to really picture it, but if there was some subtle textures throughout this whole shape, right? If throughout this whole we did something similar to the hair to kind of give it that dimensionality. Maybe not as sharp, but like subtly you can see some ridges and some contours and some details, creating this, organic, dynamic shape, and less blotchy. I don't know if that's the word. I think I'm starting to like almost get to the point where I'm learning something new with sculpting, where it's like, Ugh, if what I did with the hair, if I could figure out how to do that everywhere on the model, like I would have reached another level, right? So like every year I feel like I improve like that next level in sculpting. I'm like, if I keep grinding, I'll get to this next level. But folks, that was Thursday night sculpt with Mythical, sculpting Bodhi Cat, and he's getting there. He is getting there. I'm very excited to see what this figurine will end up looking like. Still a lot more to go. Make sure you follow us. Watch our videos every night. Drop us a like, a comment, say what's up. And I can't wait to bring this whole video series through to printing and painting. This will be probably the best documented figurine that we've done thus far, just because everything is live streamed. So in theory, if we downloaded all those videos, we have like, the 30-hour process of creating this toy, right? Um, so yeah, that's all I got for you guys tonight. Hopefully you guys have a good Friday. Hopefully it's payday, and I'll see you tomorrow. All right.